Hey YouTubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything. Channel likes try anything so you don't have to. Today's video is going to be a quick tutorial video how to set the date and time on the Casio AW-81, which has a module number of 2747. So I'll just quickly talk about what the display is and what the buttons do, and then I'll show you how to adjust the date and time. So first thing, obviously, as you can see, what you've got is mainly an analog dial going on here, and you've got a 2-bit saloon there on the double handset, and underneath that is just obscured by the handset, you've got the digital display, which is currently showing you what would be the local time, or the time that I've set the watch to, which in this case you've got the P there for PM because it's in 12-hour mode, you've got the hour, the minutes, you've got the fact that it's honouring daylight saving time, and you've got the seconds at the top. Now with that out the way, what you've got next is how these buttons operate within timekeeping mode, which is the mode I'm just going to show you in this video, as well as how to adjust the analog hands. So you've got the adjust button up here. Now obviously if you long press it, you will be able to adjust the parameters of the digital elements of the watch. But as you can see there, if I just quickly pressed it, you can alternate between what would be the digital time that you can see here, or you can alternate between the date as well. So in the date screen, you've got obviously the day, the week, the month, and the date within the month. But if you just press it again one more time, you can see I've gone back to what would be the digital time. So I'll just press it one more time and you got back to the date. Underneath that, you've got the mode button here, which obviously allows you to go through all the modes. Now there will be a video that I will film down the line which will show you how to use them modes in more depth. To the top right hand corner, and if I move the watch over to the left, you will see it has got a backlight to the actual watch itself, and the actual backlight does illuminate what would be the circular part of the dial, which I'm showing you here, and it is lit by 2 LEDs either side. And I'm just showing you in a clip to the right how it looks in darkness and semi-darkness. And just finally to what would be the bottom right, what you've got is how to show the digital time in 12 and 24-hour formats. So if I just pop it on the digital screen there by pressing that top left-hand button, and if I just press the bottom right-hand button, as you can see, you've got the 24-hour format because the P's missing, and obviously we're in an afternoon time, so it's 1600 hours. But if I just press it one more time, you can see it's PM, and obviously it's 4:28 PM. And if it's in an AM scenario, or what would be the morning hours before 12 noon, that will have disappeared if you're in 12-hour format, and obviously if you are in the 24-hour format, it'll show it as whatever before 12 noon. So that's just the button setup on the AW-81. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to operate first is what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to move the handset first, and the reason being just so I can clear these hands away from what would be the digital display, so I can show you that better later on. So what you need to do is cycle the modes through to what's known as hand setting mode, which allows you to adjust the analog hands, and it's indicated on the digital display by HS. Now what you need to do to adjust the hand setting going on here, you need to just press the adjust button, and what you'll see is the whole of the time flash. Now you don't adjust the digital part in this aspect, what you're adjusting is the analog hands. Now the real sad fact is that you can't synchronize what you set digitally with what you've got in an analog aspect, I'm afraid, so you have got to do this separate to the digital time. Now what you can press is, if you press the bottom right hand button, you can adjust the minute hand by, I believe it's up to what would be 30 seconds, and if you keep your finger pressed on what will be the bottom right hand button, you can advance the minute hand, and as you go around the dial it will obviously move the hour hand as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the watch to about 10 o'clock just to keep it nice and short. Now obviously I can keep my finger on the bottom right hand button just to keep it going, or there's a little trick where if you press the 2 buttons it will go automatically. So if I press these 2 buttons here, what you'll see is, if I get the coordination right, I think what I had to do is press that first and then quickly that second, and as you can see it is doing that for me, so I haven't got to keep the button pressed. So let's speed up the video so we can get to about what would be, let's say 10 past 10. And as we get to about 10 past 10, I'm just going to press this button to stop it. And as I say, I can be a little bit more precise by just pressing the bottom right hand button a few times just to get as close to the time as possible. And that's it. And that's how you adjust the analog hands on this watch. Now, unfortunately, you can't go backwards. You can only go forward, and that button doesn't do anything other than when you press that one and that one together, then it advances the time without any further buttons being pressed. But that is how you do the analog hands on this watch. Now, if I want to come out of that, I'm just going to press the adjust button. And then what I want to do is I want to adjust what would be the digital time to get as close to the analog time as possible. So if I press the button a few times, what you can then do is get back to what will be the normal digital time. So you know you're on the normal digital time is if you press the adjust button to the top left hand corner, you can cycle in between the dates and the times here. Now I want to adjust the digital time, so if I keep my finger long pressed on the adjust button at the top, what you'll see is the seconds. Now if you want to reset seconds, you just press that. Now what you'll notice is as the seconds were over what would be 30 seconds, it has advanced the minutes by 1. But if you want to reset the seconds under 30 seconds, you'll notice it doesn't affect the minutes whatsoever. To move it along, it will move it along to what would be daylight saving time, so you can obviously turn it off if the region of the world isn't honouring it. But as we are in the UK honouring it, I'm just turning it back on. You can then move it on to what would be the hours, so you can go forward. Yeah, you can go backwards as well in terms of the value. So let's do it, say for example 10 o'clock at night, so this would be 2200 hours, or it will be 10 with a P if you are using the 12-hour format. And let's move it on to the minutes. So I'm going to go backwards in this aspect so you can see how that works. And you can long press it to speed it up, or you can just press it a few times or quickly just to obviously advance it or minus it by 1 minute. So well, let's say, yeah, it's pretty much close to where that time is going to be. If I want to move it forward, you can adjust what would be the year. So let's just go back to 2024, and obviously you can adjust the month as well as you so wish. So back to August, and then the date within the month. And as you can see, you can go forwards and we can go backwards. And that's it really. And that's how you adjust the date and time digitally on this watch, as well as adjusting the hand setting mode. So again, just to remember, that will take you back to the date, and that will allow you to, let me go back to the digital time, that will allow you to go back to what will be 12 hours. And also just to remember, if you want to adjust what will be the analog hands, just make sure you go to where it says HS, and then when you adjust it, it all flashes as opposed to just the seconds and the minutes, etc., flashing on their own, and then you can come out of it. And then you're back to what will be timekeeping mode. And that's how you adjust the date and time digitally on the AW-81, as well as the analog hands on this watch. So if this video has helped you, then please click on the thumbs up icon. It always helps the channel. There will be a more comprehensive tutorial coming very, very soon about how to operate all the functions on this watch. If you want to be notified of when this happens, then please click on the subscription button below. And thank you for watching this video. I hope it was of some help to you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.